Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Raw Tropical Living today. Just puttering around the house, getting some things done, kind of taking a little bit easy, kind of trying to figure out what's going on in my body right now. So I've been a little bit more introspective, working on some things that don't require sitting in front of my computer so much. But wanted to talk about the benefits of a raw food diet and how it's not all or nothing. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you haven't already done it by now, please go down there and hit that subscribe button now, and then just to make sure, click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. Now, I did a video last week talking about the problem of 100% raw food diet, coming at it from kind of a different angle, perspective this week. Not, in other words, I just wanted to establish I'm not just repeating myself there. I think a lot of times, there's so many levels. As humans, we just want it to be all or nothing. We want it to be black or white. It's easy when it's black or white. There's not so much choice, there's not so much thinking when it's black and white. But as we all know, there's 50 shades of gray in there. Actually, there's more than 50. That's just a popular title of something, I believe. But yeah, there's so many shades in between there. And the way I want to talk about it a little bit differently today is the aspect of good, better, best. In life, and that, like I say, and a lot of that is relative. That's opinion. A lot of it is very subjective. But good, better, best. I have a lot of people that will make a comment from time to time, and not even time to time, I have flows of comments, and there's always different people under my comments, and I enjoy that. There's people that are probably more serious about the whole raw thing than me. They're just hardcore. I'm going to eat raw all the time. I'm like, damn, you go. Best scenario. They're just pounding away, eating mostly raw food. While there's some, they slip or they do this or that. And then there's others that aren't even trying to be raw. There's others that are vegan and they're just interested in eating more raw food. I get that on Instagram a lot. Like, oh, hey, Jack, I'm a vegan. I get this. I've had this message I don't know how many times. Hey, I'm a vegan, but I like your page. I'm trying to eat more raw food. I enjoy that. I always want to encourage that. I have people that come to my page that are not vegan. I don't even know if they're remotely healthy or how healthy they are, but they take some aspect from my video. So I always I don't want to be exclusive here. I don't want to be that one, just always pounding this message. Yes, I eat a mostly raw food diet. Yes, I'm vegan. I would say that more than anything. Get rid of those animal products. Go plant-based, go vegan. But even if you don't, I'm not going to throw somebody under the bus, and I'm not going to be like, well, or try to run them off from here, or try to be like, kind of like some people do, throw shade because they're not eating, like I think they should eat. Everybody's welcome here, and I'm happy when people do that because, there's so many benefits to this raw food diet. It gives us energy. It helps our digestion. People have cleared up their skin. People have healed illnesses, all kinds of health conditions. It's been such a great, the mental aspect of it for me. So there's so many benefits. And yes, there is, honestly, I believe I do best when I'm on a fully raw diet, and I believe in the raw food and the living food and fresh food, but there's good, better, best. And just because, it's kind of like I say sometimes, I love to play devil's advocate with people that get so food police, and I'm like, okay, they're not being perfect. What would you recommend that they just get rid of the good stuff they are doing? And also, too, when people tend to focus on I like to focus on people's positives. People tend to improve. People tend to be encouraged. People tend to move forward when you accentuate the positive and don't go about the negative. In other words, I like telling people, I don't throw shade. I have people all the time, they write me whatever level they're at. You know what I tell them? I'm like, that's great. You're doing great. I have people send me stuff all the time that's cooked vegan food. That's stuff I probably wouldn't eat, or I wouldn't eat except, on that rare occasion. But I always give back a positive comment like, yes, great, because like I say, there's these different levels. And I want to meet people where they are. Because listen, I could go down hardcore, be fire and brimstone, raw food preacher, and be another one of the raw is law, and it's all raw, 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 raw all the time. How many people am I going to really benefit? How many people are going to tune into that narrow of a niche, that narrow of a message? Now that's what I do, and I do focus most of my information. I think a lot of this information is great for people that want to be fully raw, but I also want to have stuff there for people that are not trying to be fully raw. Because hey, what if it's even just a person, even what if it's their kids? What if somebody, you know, when people tell me this stuff, I actually pay attention and it means something to me. When somebody tells me, they may not have changed a whole lot of things in their household, but they're feeding their kids some fruit. They may not be eating a vegan diet. They may not be eating raw, but maybe they're having smoothies for breakfast every morning now instead of bacon and eggs, or going through the drive-thru, or getting some mix something griddle with all this fake food and stuff in there. So changes. Making small changes, because small changes can lead to bigger changes. And when people, a lot of times, it's just like if you can just plant that seed, if you can get people to just kind of stick a toe in the water and test it out, so to speak, you know, they'll start feeling some of those benefits, some of those results. They'll realize they like what they're eating, and who knows where they go from there. So yeah, I never want to present myself in that way, and that's why I never debate food. I never argue food. That's just not my vibe. That's not where I'm going, because like I say, I want to, instead of dragging a few select people all the way to this elite finish line of being raw, I'd rather be instrumental, help, even be a small part in moving a large amount of people forward in just where they are on their health. Like I say, all life is about doing better today than you did yesterday, learning as we go. So yeah, you're never going to get any shade from me. You're never going to see me throwing shade about what people eat. The only time I might get a little snarky and throw shade is when one of the veggie police, the fruit police, the vegan police talks big and they are extremists, and then they tap out, and then they start preaching another message just as fierce. I'm like, dude, get over yourself. You just want to hear yourself talk. Listen, I might goof around a lot, and I'm not the warmest, cuddliest person, and I can be a bit abrasive at sometimes, but I honestly, genuinely want to help as many people as possible and not just kind of be like, you know, a raw food educator. So just things, you know, I sit around and think about, and kind of made me think about it this morning. And as I was answering some, catching up on some comments on Instagram, and answering a few messages that people had sent to me. It's even a lot more open over there. I mean, I guess the algorithm and the dynamics are different on Instagram. I have a lot more of a following over on Instagram that they don't come out and tell me all their details, but I've got a lot of people following me on Instagram that are not raw, probably a lot, not plant-based, but I get messages, especially on Instagram, more so than I do on YouTube. And that's what I like. I don't care how small it is. I know I'm making a little bit of a difference over there. I got people, I know they went out and partied, you know, this weekend or the weekend before, and they'll write me, and I've been following them, and they'll surprise me. They're like, oh, you know, I'm doing this now. Or, oh, hey, I saw you making that ice cream, and now I'm eating, you know, now I'm making this natural ice cream, nice cream, plant-based, no unnatural ingredients for my kids. And I get a huge kick out of that. In fact, if I'm going to be honest with you, I probably get a little bit more of a thrill out of it on Instagram when I get feedback from people that aren't raw, that aren't vegan, than I do from the hardest core of the vegans or the raw vegans. Because that means I've planted a seed, or that means I've watered a seed. I'll be a little bit, you know, not saying it's me. I didn't necessarily plant the seed, but I watered that seed, or I did something with that seed. In other words, like now they have more of an interest, and I'll finish with that. If I can just make somebody think, if I can inspire them a little bit, if they have more of an interest today to be plant-based and to take that even cleaner to a whole food plant-based diet, that's my goal right now. That's my mission statement. So good, better, best. You know what? There's a benefit. Let's just all eat more raw food and encourage everybody to eat more raw food and eat plant-based and eat natural and eat whole. Anyhow, ran over for the day. I don't know if that was really a rant because I'm pretty happy. Anyhow, if you guys like this video, I'd appreciate if you'd give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.